Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Simona Cotoni and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada. Putin called situation in Ukrainian town of Bucha fake. Ontario Liberals announce platform promises aimed at women. Toronto police charge man with murder after random shootings of two completely innocent men. Fiery Conservative leadership race could be dangerous for Poilievre. Metro workers reach a new deal while strike at Sobeys distribution center continues. Chelsea Manning cannot enter Canada due to her prior convictions. Jurassic Park is back for the NBA playoffs after a 3-year absence. Manitoba and BC hold new PNP draws. Victoria stayed in Australia to host 2026 Commonwealth Games. Maple Leafs Marner adding another wrinkle to his game with increased physicality. So those were the headlines. Now let's jump right into the details. Speaking at a televised news conference after talks with his Belarusian counterpart Alexander Lukashenko, Putin compared Ukrainian allegations that Russian men executed civilians in Bucha to what he said was the staging by the West of chemical weapon attack in Syria aimed at incriminating Bashar al-Assad. It's the same kind of fake in Bucha, Putin said. Russian authorities have accused Ukraine of staging the harrowing scene to derail peace talks and prompt the West to impose more sanctions against Moscow. Liberal leader Stephen Del Duca is unveiling his party's plan for equal pay and opportunity for women today and says the best way to build lasting prosperity is to ensure that all Ontarians have the same opportunity. The party is announcing that if they win the June 2nd election, they would provide $10 a day before and after school care. The deal struck with the federal government covers licensed care for kids up to age 5 and would top up the federal 18-month parental leave program. Currently, parents can spread 12 months of EI parental leave payments over 18 months leave by taking smaller payments over the longer period, and the provincial Liberals said they would provide full payments for the last 6 months period to top up the federal program. Police have arrested a man they say is responsible for a pair of random shootings in Toronto that killed two completely innocent men just going about their lives. Toronto police announced today that 39-year-old Richard Jonathan Edwin has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in connection with the death of Kartik Vasudev and Elijah Elazar Mehbab. Vasudev, a 21-year-old Seneca College student, was shot on April 7 outside the Glen Road entrance to Sherbourne Station around 5 p.m. The second shooting took place in the vicinity of Dundas and George Street about 48 hours later.
The first incident I'll address is the murder of Kartik Vasudev, 21 years, a student from India who was residing in Canada and attending Seneca College. As the media has reported, Kartik was just outside the Sherbourne subway station last Thursday when he was approached by a man who we believe to have been a complete stranger to him. Unprovoked, this man shot Kartik multiple times, killing him. 2 days later, on April 9th, Elijah Mahipath, 35 years, a resident of Toronto, was murdered as he was walking in the area of Dundas and George Streets in the east end of the downtown core. He too was approached by an apparent stranger, was shot multiple times, and despite life-saving measures, also succumbed to his injuries. In the aftermath of this second attack, our investigators were able to quickly draw a link between the murder of Kartik and that of Elijah. He has been identified as Richard Jonathan Edwin, 39, of Toronto. He has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Given that he had already killed 2 apparent strangers, as we allege, and that a cache of firearms was located in his residence, we can reasonably conclude that the quick work of our investigators has prevented a further loss of life.
Welcome back to the Wild West that is the Conservative leadership race. Things got heated up over the weekend with a series of media interviews and social media posts where the candidates dropped the gloves and threw punches at each other. Everyone knows that Pierre Poilievre supported the blockade, Charest said on Sunday. Chartist was having none of the pushback from host Ivan Solomon that Poilievre just supported the truckers and not the border blockades. He said Poilievre's position made him unfit to be the party leader. Patrick Brown said Poilievre is unelectable and will lead to 8 more years of Trudeau Liberal government. Workers at a Metro distribution center in Ontario have voted in favor of a new deal, while workers at Sobeys warehouse in Quebec have rejected the grocer's latest offer. More than 900 workers at Metro Inc.'s Toronto Area Distribution Center ratified a new 4.5-year collective agreement this Friday, ending a 1-week strike. Unifor said Metro warehouse workers in Etobicoke will receive an average wage increase of 15.8% over the lifetime of a new deal. The union said the new collective agreement also includes higher shift premiums for freezer work, a shortened wage progression to reach to the top rate, improvements to pensions and benefits, and no concessions. Chelsea Manning, the former U.S. intelligence analyst who was convicted in one of the largest breaches of classified information in American history, will not be allowed to enter Canada due to her prior convictions in the United States. In a decision dated April 8th, the Immigration and Refugee Board sided with the federal government that she should be denied entry due to the gravity of her espionage record. Manning's fight dates to September 2017, when border officer denied her entry and argued that if her offenses had been committed in Canada, they would be equated to an indictable offense, namely treason. Jurassic Park is returning to Maple Leaf Square for the first time since the Raptors clinched an NBA title in 2019. The tailgate parties were a longtime fixture of Raptors postseason games but haven't been held for 3 years now due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the team's failure to qualify for the NBA playoffs last year. That, however, is about to change. Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment has announced that the parties will return for both road and home games during the duration of NBA playoffs, beginning with a Game 1 of the Raptors' first-rounder series with Philadelphia 76ers this Saturday evening. This past week, Manitoba held a new provincial nominee program draw, and BC held its weekly PNP invitation round. Most Canadian provinces and territories, except for Quebec and Nunavut, operate their own PNPs. Through these programs, interested candidates may be invited to apply for a provincial nomination. Although provincial nomination is not in itself same as permanent residence, it can significantly increase the chances of obtaining one. In the latest express entry draw held last week, the Canada invited 919 PNP candidates to apply with comprehensive ranking system scores of at least 785. The Australian state of Victoria has been confirmed as the host of 2026 Commonwealth Games. It will be the first ever predominantly regional Commonwealth Games with events in several cities and regional hubs including Melbourne, Geelong, Bendigo, Ballarat, and Gippsland. Australia has hosted 5 other times. In Tuesday's announcement, Commonwealth Games Federation President Louis Martin said Victoria and Commonwealth Games Australia set out a bold and innovative vision for hosting our major multi-sport event. In Victoria, we believe we have found the perfect partner for the next stage of our journey. Mitch Marner won't step into opposing players and bowl them over. The Maple Leaf star winger, however, is giving members of opposition plenty to think about when they have the puck. It's a facet of the game that has been a focus for Marner. As Awaz indicated, the kind of space that Marner is used to getting will be that much more challenging to attain once the calendar turns to May. Coach Sheldon Keefe has been liking what he has been witnessing in Marner and Austin Matthew in that regard, but another levels awaits. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Simona Cutoni, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Adios.